Day two is going to be fantastic. I want to turn it over to my friend and colleague, Jonathan Bunce. Jonathan and I have a great relationship, and I know he's got a fantastic panel that he's going to bring with you today. So, JB, it's all yours, man.
Yeah, Jeff, great. Thank you so much. And can you believe it's 4 years ago that you are responsible for hiring me at InterVision? So came out of
Don't blame
Intel.
me, folks. Don't blame me. It's okay.
So anyway, it's great to be here. Those of you that know me, I'm very excited about strategic partnerships. And the reason is because it's all encompassing role of aligning organizations. You know, it's not just sign a contract and cross your fingers and hope to help somebody sell something. That's not strategic alliances and what it's at all. So each partnership has a vision unto itself. And then when you start pulling the ecosystem of partnerships together, which we do very well at InterVision, it becomes very, very complex. And so we'll get into some of that today and some of the skill sets warranted. I'm really excited because, like I said, 9 years ago, and Jeff and I talked about this, I wrote a paper at Accenture. It was a white paper and is on digital transformation, the impact on sales and partnership skills. What's neat and what I'm really thankful about InterVision today is that the leadership is enabling me to really live what I wrote almost 10 years ago. It's actually coming to fruition today, and the skill sets necessary. I'll give a big shout out to Tony Bailey. When we met a year and a half ago, I think it was, in the first 20 minutes, I knew I could work with him. We finished each other's sentences. We understood what the role was and how do we build these very complex partnerships that the 1 + 1 = 5. It goes beyond the 1 + 1 = 3. So very excited. With that, we put together a panel that I'm thrilled to introduce because this panel I've worked with for many years. It's purposely cross-functional because alliances is a cross-functional. Like I said, you're pulling the entire organizations together with a new vision to go forward. It's not the old vision of each other. It's a new vision. Every joint effort that comes like that comes together. So with that, I'm going to introduce the panel, and then we have a couple questions for them and let them answer. So Katie Nemote, Director, Channel Sales, Arctic Wolf. Eric Cole, EVP of Advanced Solutions at Ingram Micro. John Orby, VP West Sales, Juniper. Dave Aurelio, Director of Sales Manager at NetApp. And Mark Rizzio, I'm not sure if Mark got on. He's having some difficulties. He's the Channel Sales West Region at Palo Alto. John Chesney, Director of Enterprise Sales West for F5. And Josh Laufenberg, Public Sector Partner Sales Manager at AWS. So you can see we brought in some salespeople, I brought in some channel people, brought in Disty, and brought in Cloud. So that's a well-rounded forum. So excited to get things going. So first question to the panel, and I want everyone to answer this. So in 2 or 3 sentences, describe the ideal partner, and then what percentage of your partners overall you think really fit that bill. So I'm going to just kind of open it up. I'll start with Katie. I'll go right down my list.
Perfect. This was one of my favorite questions, so I'm excited to talk to this group about this today, and thank you so much for having me. For Arctic Wolf, the top partner is really bringing a strategic solution or a package to market, right? So what can we collectively with InterVision deliver outside of Arctic Wolf alone? So together, we've come together in partnership and are delivering the ransomware protection as a service, which includes Arctic Wolf's MDR, and we're really working to end downtime together in partnership. Again, this is a unique offering that not everybody can do in the market, and I'd say maybe 10 to 15% of our partners today actually have that strategic story or messaging around a full, complete package.
Awesome, Katie, thank you. John Orby, you're out there from Juniper.
Yeah, thank you, Jonathan. John Orby with Juniper Networks. I sit about maybe 10 or 15 minutes from the InterVision office in St. Louis. So to answer your question, we believe and feel that InterVision is one of the firms that desires to focus and generally wants to grow our mutual business, the business with Juniper. The interest is not just to be opportunistic, but to invest the partner focusing on training their engineers, their sales teams, investing in lab gear, being able to demo independently, but also having the ability to differentiate between our solutions and other choices, while being able to give a value proposition of our full stack solutions. And finally, building a relationship across the organization, top to bottom.
Awesome. Thank you, John. John and I have a lot of fun. We actually did a presentation in Madrid together. So we like to get on stage together. So good to see you, John. Dave Aurelio from NetApp. Same question.
Hey, thanks, Jonathan. And you mentioned it earlier when you welcomed us, is, you're not just selling product, right? InterVision and NetApp together, we're really focusing and making sure that we're putting the customers at the forefront of all decisions, right? That takes a proactive approach to our customers and really aligning with the customers' problems and addressing them. And I think that's very few there's very few partners that are really just focused on the customer-centric side of things.
Awesome. Thank you, Dave, very much. I'll pivot for a second. So let's go to a disty, Eric Cole from a
Jonathan. Hey, good morning, everybody. Maybe I should start with what Ingram Micro is, because we're kind of the brand behind a number of the brands that are here. We're a distributor, a technology distributor of software and hardware and all those things. And, our role is to really act as an extension and an enabler. So an extension of the channel folks that are here on the call today. And so I would say that, an ideal partner like InterVision, we've leaned in a lot more recently together, from building those executive relationships with Jonathan Lerner and our CFO as an example. And that ideal partner really leans into all of the services and offerings that we have, whether it's financial services or helping us to manage the right inventory levels and all those things. And also, Jonathan, we had a very strategic meeting in Madrid too, but it wasn't on main stage. I think it was at the Embarcadero. So I cherish that afternoon.
Yes, we had a great time there too. So John Chesney from F5, same question.
Jonathan, and I look forward to the next invite in Madrid. I'm really looking forward to that. But thank you for inviting me, Jonathan. And I would say that at F5, the ideal partner would help us follow our customers' apps. That's the follow the app mantra is what we say a lot within F5, because chances are today, some of the critical applications with our customers are running as a virtual IP on our big IP platform, or running as a proxy on our Nginx open source, or perhaps in one of our cloud load balancers, is running the Nginx kernel. So we know a few things about how applications run, and so helping us understand the app, helping us understand the customer complexities with the multiple environments that these apps and the web services that support the apps run. That depth of knowledge is where we like to play, and really ultimately, how can we help our customers solve some of these more complex problems with this distributed apps of today.
Great, thank you, John. And let's round it out with AWS. Josh.
Thanks, Jonathan. I think where we start at Amazon is we believe across all of our business units, including AWS, in working backwards from the customer, listening to their needs, inventing on their behalf, and helping them look around corners. So with InterVision, that's how InterVision operates. You heard yesterday when Jonathan talked about being so close to understand what your customers need. That's why we love the partnership with InterVision. We always encourage that the best partners are those that become technically adept in our 200 plus solutions, and InterVision's also done that. Less than 1% of our 100,000 partners reach that premier tier. So to put it simply, the best partners and the best partnerships with AWS are partners like InterVision, who are going to look at the customer, find out where do they want to go, and how do we bridge that gap with technology from AWS and then our partners and InterVision's partners that you've been hearing from today.
Great, thank you, Josh. Appreciate that. All right, question number 2 is the purchasing of the IT stack has changed, right? You got cybersecurity, you got AI, you got hybrid clouds in there. And top of mind for the boards, the C-suite, right? VPs, procurement, and customers all the way down has changed dramatically. How does this impact the go-to-market strategies with your partners, with your channel partners? So I'm going to start with Dave Aurelio from NetApp.
Yeah, thanks, Jonathan. No, great question. I mean, with NetApp, we're really storing the second most important thing to customers, which is their data. So having a partner that goes to market, go to market with a partner that can provide, that security aspect of the business, right? Obviously, we all hear about cyber threats and data breaches, but it's also, as we just talked with AWS, it's the hybrid cloud model as well. So how do we make sure that the data can be protected, stored in the right way? NetApp can move the data, but we need that partner that has expertise in not only the security side of it, understanding and being able to report back to their customers on making sure that data is protected and secure. And I think that's top of mind and I think the panel will agree that it's top of mind for not just CEOs, but CFOs from a cost perspective, CISOs, and procurement as well.
Great, thank you. John Orby, from Juniper's perspective, and you've done a lot of acquisitions, a lot of change to pivot Juniper. Talk about the same changes in go-to-market strategies with partners. How's that changed over the recent years?
Yeah, and regarding cybersecurity specifically, even given the current macroeconomic environment, it's still cybersecurity is still a very important element of the solution that customers are very interested in, making sure that they're compliant and focused. For partners, it continues to be really a great area of business for both of us, an area of expansion for some partners. Operational simplicity is going to be a key differentiator relative to the deployment of the technology. The capabilities that InterVision offers, both in managed services or CPE gear solutions, are very compelling for our customers. At Juniper, we started doing the SASE journey as part of operational simplicity with something we call the Secure Director Cloud. But indeed, Jonathan, we do see this as a very important area, for clients with customers, a great growth area for all of us.
Great, thank you, John. And then Katie, if you can comment on that question.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're talking all about ending cyber risk and preventing downtime, right? And that continues to accelerate, even though more investments are being made in tools and technology to protect organizations. But really, we see that cyber risk has evolved into business risk now. And business risk affects the entire C-suite and boards. They're at the table making these decisions. With breaches coming in now at around 9 million, everybody's very invested in how we can protect our customers and ourselves. And so really together with the RPAS solution, we're cutting through an oversaturated market and selling the value of Arctic Wolf and InterVision together.
Great, thank you, Katie. So do it for time. I'll move to the next question and we'll get the others. And I don't think Mark Rizzo, unfortunately, he had some technical difficulties from Palo Alto. I would have loved for him to talk about that, but with their security changes, so unfortunately he couldn't join us. Third question. A lot of VARs are trying to make this pivot to MSP. And we can go a lot of different directions on how difficult this is, why some are successful, why some are not. But most are failing. There's actually very few that are actually making that successful pivot, recognizing the growth with their partners, going forward. Talk about what's valuable in those MSPs. What are you seeing through the partners that are making it successful? And I want to start, say with Mark, but I won't say that. I'll start with, let's go with F5. Let's go with John out there.
Yeah, you're right. Making that transition is not an easy thing. Some of the partners that I've seen do that successfully, like what I was mentioning earlier, what we're looking for partners is there's a special skill set when, let's say, a customer is migrating to the cloud or doing all net new development within in the cloud, or at least let's just call it modernizing their applications to eventually drive more business growth. Really, ultimately, is the ultimate goal. right? But where I've seen partners succeed there is where they have the skills and the advice and the experience and expertise to help customers that may not have the resources or time to evolve their organizational goals. And I would say that it has to do with I'm a big advocate of the do-it-yourself spirit. YouTube is your friend when it comes to that, but you could use YouTube to change your kitchen faucet, but you might not want to use YouTube to remodel your ground floor of your house. You want to bring in some experts because after all, you need to live in that house after the work is done. So rely on the experts, Jonathan.
Yeah, John, well put. Thank you. John Orby, let's have you talk about it. You've been around, you've seen the generational change and the digital transformation. So what are successful MSPs doing that you're seeing out there?
Yeah, thank you. Well, saying you want to be an MSP partner or seller and actually building the foundation are two entirely different things. My experience is that InterVision has accomplished both of these organically and through acquisition. InterVision has continued to build this by investing time, money, and really understanding OEM's offerings and knowing where they fit and where InterVision can add value on top of that without boiling the ocean. So it's a very focused engagement. And I believe in my experience is that this is what has set InterVision apart from several others.
Thank you, John. And then I'm gonna put Eric Cole. You see all the partners, or most partners out there. What are you seeing that the ones that are having an effective change and successful change towards the MSP or incorporating MSP models? What are you seeing? Who's doing the great stuff?
Yeah, to your point, we are seeing some partners struggle. Obviously, the financial model shifts and you have to rethink how you compensate your sellers and all these things as we move into, monthly and subscription and annuities and EAs and all these things where the market is going. But I think one thing that InterVision has done well is just focus on your core competencies and what are those true business outcomes that you're looking to achieve on behalf of your client. And I think somebody just said, you can't be everything to everybody, and be willing to partner if there's a service that you don't deliver. And so those are some of the things that we've seen working with InterVision.
Great. And then Josh, I'll have you talk. Now you don't have, the AWS wasn't around 30 years ago, right? But what are you seeing as the successful MSPs out there? Because once again you're working with them all too from the cloud perspective. So if you can comment on this question, it'd be great.
Yeah, we are the newer kid on the block in that sense. But I would say our most successful managed service providers, they're leading with proactivity and they're leading with value. What I mean by that is resale is cyclical. You know your timelines, you know when you're going to hear from a vendor. That's what customers come to expect. Managed services is 24/7, 365. You need to be able to answer the phone or proactively reach out to your customer, and InterVision does this all the time. AWS is guilty of launching hundreds of services throughout the year. I spend half of my week keeping up with that. And customers are asking their partners like InterVision to say, is this a fit for my business outcome? Where will generative AI come into the offering I want to release into the market? What can I do there? So it's a combination of being at the ready, and we heard a lot about security and ransomware from the other partners, but it's that balance of being proactive to share the information and supporting when things get a little rough.
Great, thank you, Josh. Now I'm going to ask all of you, 30 years, we're celebrating our 30 years is coming up, which is a long tenure we've gone through. I think InterVision's had 3 different leadership shifts that have come in, each one with different skills to take to the next level. What advantageous shifts have you seen InterVision specifically do that has enabled us to foster that strong partnership that we talk about? Like I said, it's bringing the whole companies together, not just signing a contract, cross your fingers, hope to help somebody sell something. It's very deep. Every function in each organization gets involved. Like Eric said, we sit with the CFO, Andrew, Anthony Mackel at Ingram. We sit with, CFO, C-suites, VPs, directors, sales, operations, back office, marketing, et cetera. It's really bringing the organizations together. That's our role. That's our job, is to curate the best in breed out there for our customers, so our customers can focus on their strategic initiative, not have to worry about the IT stack or their cloud journey. That's us to protect and provide for them and do all the answering. So that's what we do our vetting in. So with that, InterVision, if you can comment, what are you seeing? What strategic, some of it's been touched on already, but some of the strategic moves maybe over the years that you've seen us do that you believe is really going to be the catalyst going forward. I'll start with John Orby.
Yeah, thank you, Jonathan. And in our experience, and congratulations on an excellent 30 years, but InterVision became one of our first Elite Plus partners for Juniper in 2022. What's consistent is InterVision's commitment is financial, but it's also very strategic. Juniper sees InterVision as a partner that invests in the big picture, constantly demonstrating the ability to sell solutions, not just products, and wrapping services around the solutions where they can. So we're proud to be aligned with InterVision.
Great, thank you. Dave Aurelio, NetApp.
Yeah, thanks, Jonathan. I think John just summarized it. Congratulations on the 30 years. I'm going to age myself a little bit here, but I was actually an IV customer 20 years ago when I was an IT leader, and now leading sales teams at NetApp. We get the full circle, and I've seen the progression, right? I've seen the investments that you're making and the company's making, the commitment to align with us and us together making sure that we're providing those solutions to our customers, right? It's all about business outcomes, right? Traditionally it was more IT initiatives. Now we're looking at what is the business outcome of this, and InterVision has just invested. We're excited, really excited. We mentioned a little bit about our Amazon partnership. So with AWS and the integration point, just proves the investment you're making and thinking about the customers and providing those solutions. So again, congratulations on 30 years, and hopefully we get another 30.
Great, thanks, David. John Chesney from F5.
Great question, Jonathan, and thank you for giving me an offer to respond to that. I think that the integration skill set that InterVision provides to your customers, making things look simple in a complex world, that definitely brings value, because what we found across our enterprise customers is that the complexity of their application stack has increased as they try to reduce costs, go faster, and grow their business, right? And if we can help our customers integrate the multiple solutions that make it all go, that is a very powerful thing, Jonathan.
Great, thank you, John. And I'll round it out one more. Eric Cole, because you've been with us for a long time. Once again, what are some of the strategic moves that you've seen InterVision do that really enable us to be a key partner with you?
Yeah, and I've had the privilege of working with InterVision for over 20 years. So I've seen it evolve from, looking at Ingram as a place to get inventory and price and availability, and evolve to more strategic partnership and relationship. I think InterVision's done a great job with the solutions factory around orienting around your top channel partners. And again, not trying to be everything to everybody, but also looking to Ingram in new ways. The platform Xvantage is simplifying. I think John from Juniper said operational simplicity, and you're leaning into us with that, all the way to looking at us for new and emerging vendors. And I'd like to thank our partnership with Arctic Wolf, which is one of our fastest growing partners over the last couple of years, as an example of that.
Exactly. Thank you. Well, as you can tell, I could probably go for hours on this. This is a lot of fun. We learn from each other. All this panelists right here, I have great relationships with. I want to thank you for coming on, for leaning in with InterVision and trusting us and guiding us and correcting us. That's what all these partnerships are all about. It's really being very transparent, very open, and everyone's here. I apologize that Palo Alto couldn't make it, Mark, but I want to thank you, and I'll turn it back over to Jeff Tunn or Javo.
All right. Thank you very much, Jonathan. I really appreciate it. Great panel. Appreciate all of our partners for taking the time to join us today.